This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Maybe you already know what it feels like to feel trapped. On tonight's show, our live guest lived this kind of feeling for a while, until she found out the unique thing possible to protect her from those traps. Stay tuned to find out more on tonight's show.
Good evening, welcome to Finding Answers. How are you this evening? Well, this evening we're going to speak about something that is very, very special to us. Because maybe you feel yourself like you are trapped. You feel yourself like there's a certain situation or situations that trap you. You feel like the more you try to come out, it's like the worse the situation become. Or maybe even when you come out of one problem, there comes another situation that makes you seem to go back or even become worse. Well, my dear friend, we're here today. And we're going to be speaking with Shayna. She's going to be sharing her experience with us. The live guest is going to share her experience, how she managed to come out of the trap of low self-esteem, the trap of depression, of sleeplessness, and so many traps that people normally fall into, problems that they even seem common to people, and maybe you even become accustomed to them. Maybe you think that is a way of life. Maybe you think that the situation that you're going through, you have to go through it. There's no way. Other people have been through it or are going through it, and you feel like it doesn't even make sense you fight because you have to be like that. Well, our live guest is going to show you how she managed to overcome, and I'm here to tell you that you can overcome. Finding Answers tonight is going to help you a lot. So stay tuned, and I'm sure that is going to help you. We are here with Shayna. Good evening, Shayna. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So you were constantly in these traps, right?
Yes.
What were some of the traps that you were in?
I felt depressed. I also couldn't sleep at nights, and also insecurities.
And this was going just once, or did it happen that you managed to feel better? How was it?
It was a constant thing, so I never really got
Come
over
out of
quickly.
it.
Yeah.
But today I believe that you are completely different, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to share your story today.
Yeah.
That's it, my dear friend. She's going to share her testimony tonight with you. I want you to stay tuned. Just like the testimony that we're going to listen now, people overcome. You can overcome. It doesn't matter what others say. It doesn't matter what people have said. It doesn't matter how long you've been going through this problem. We are here tonight to tell you that you can overcome. Pay close attention to this testimony, and we're going to be back with Finding Answers.
I felt that my dad he didn't care. He was selfish. He felt like if he came and he would buy things, it was fine. But he couldn't sit down with his children and, ask them how they were or if they were going through anything. He was never there. I saw my dad cheating on my mum. I saw him being very violent with my mum as well, because I remember at one point my mum locked him out the house, and what happened was that he punched through the window to open the window of the house so he could get in, and the mom had to call the police. The police got involved, the police took him away, and I don't know where he slept, but he didn't sleep in the house. Because I saw that my dad was the problem of the house. He was the one that would hurt my mom and cause the arguments. When my mom told me that he left, I didn't feel any way about it, to be honest. I didn't feel like, he shouldn't have gone, No, I felt like, you know what, he's gone, maybe things can change now. In secondary school, who I was someone who I didn't care about my education. I didn't really care about anything really, except for, girls, and being involved with what you would call fun. Like I wanted to do everything. I wanted to try everything. I wanted to go parties. I wanted to, hang around with my friends. It meant that I wasn't studying. I wasn't, spending time with my family and, building a relationship with my brothers or any of that. It was kind of like I was just focusing on my social life and my friends and what they were doing, what they believed was, you know, cool. I started off secondary school a very shy person, very closed off, you know, because of what I went through in primary school. And then so they kind of helped me to try out different things and be experimental. My studies were, the thing is, I would do tests and then I would always fail my tests. They would get me these like personal tutors, and when I would sit down with the personal tutors, they would teach me how to do things, and then once they taught me, I would kind of catch on to it quickly. My personal tutor even looked at me and he was like, "Why are you failing? You shouldn't be failing." When I finished my GCSEs, I ended up with 2 BTECs and 1 GCSE. When I got to that point, I felt like, you know, I didn't know where I was going to end up in life. I didn't know whether I was going to have a future. I realized I needed to get help. I didn't think it was a possibility for me to get help until I ended up coming to the youth group. And when I came to the youth group, that's when I started seeing, you know, that youths were achieving things, you know. Youths were moving forward with their lives. Youths were happy. They felt fulfilled. They felt like, you know, they knew where they was going, because that was one thing that really got to me, that I didn't know where I was going to end up in the future. I didn't know what was going to happen with my life. One thing that really stuck out that made me want to change was the pastors and their wives. Because I grew up seeing my mum and my dad always arguing, and I saw my dad being unfaithful to my mum, I kind of saw relationships in a way that every relationship had an expiring date. Every relationship was going to end at one point. Like marriage was something that you would only see in the films. But then when I saw that, you know, marriages, like happy marriages existed, people would stay together, and, you know, men were faithful to their wives, that was one thing that really stuck out to me. I couldn't believe it. You know, I was thinking to myself, if my dad was like this, you know, I think I would be the happiest person in the world. And that's when I decided, you know what, you know, life can really change. You know, I can have a better life. You know, I don't have to fail. And then when I started reading the promises of God, how, you know, God was with you, that you didn't have to be alone, that, you know, I started to feel like I could speak to someone. Finally, I could, you know, open up to someone about, like, with everything that I was going through. I started to learn that my dad was, like, he's human, and, you know, he has his flaws, like, just like me or anyone else. So, me and my dad were clean, you know, no grudges towards him. Me, right now, I know where I'm going. Like, each day, I know where I'm going. Like, I know what I have to do to go towards the direction that I want to go. I'm seeing all different areas of my life, you know, starting to really develop. You know, my family is right now, they're more united. You know, I'm building a relationship with my brothers. My mom is really, my mom and my brothers, they come to the church as well. I don't want my life to end.
So this evening on Finding Answers, we're speaking about people who have been trapped and how you can overcome the trap. And not only that, but how you can avoid falling into these traps, because there are many traps that are on. Some people fall into trap of addiction to various substances. Some people fall into trap, you know, of being depressed, of feeling down. Some people, after failing, they just feel like there's no way out for them anymore. Some people have low self-esteem, and sometimes even after achieving something in life, you know, they achieve something great, the self-esteem goes up, people cheer them, they find themselves going down all over again. And maybe this is you. You achieve, you work hard, you go up, and you find yourself going back down again. You do things, it seems to go right one moment, then the next moment you are back to square one. Well, today on Finding Answers, we are going to address, and the life testimony is going to be sharing her experience and how she managed to overcome, and you are going to be able to overcome. So if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can call us. The number is 0207 686 6300. 0207 686 6300, or you can email us help@findinganswers.tv. Also, we have programs on YouTube that you can watch our previous editions. You can just search Finding Answers in YouTube or Facebook, Finding Answers. You can find us there as well. So my dear friend, help is at hand. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to stay trapped. You don't have to stay in that situation anymore. We are here to help you. And also, my friend, if you seek help, if you feel like there seems to be a way, let's say you feel like you're trapped in a relationship. Let's say you feel like you're trapped and you are being harmed, you are in danger. Don't stay in that situation. Look for help. Call the government helpline, call the police. Don't stay in situations that is endangering you. But here we are dealing with people that, of course, you can get help, the police, the government has helpline, but people that they feel trapped spiritually, especially you that you feel like it doesn't make sense for me to go to the doctor. Yes, maybe you have been there before and you explain your situation, but it seems useless. It seems like, have you ever been in a situation where you try to explain to someone what is going on in your life and it's like you're speaking a different language? Maybe that is you. You feel like nobody understands what I'm going through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. Maybe you feel as if you are the only person that is facing what you are facing. So because of that, you just close yourself. You just keep everything inside of you. Because maybe you feel like if you speak, somebody's going to say you are crazy. Somebody's going to say you are mad. Somebody's going to say you're out of your mind. Well, my dear friend, here on Finding Answers, we believe that there's an answer for everything, and we are here to help you. That's why we bring life testimonies. People are going to show you how they manage to overcome, and you also can be a blessing. Stay with us. When we come back from this break, we're going to be speaking to Shane, our life guest, and I'm sure that you are going to be very much blessed.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Yes, welcome back to Finding Answers, and now we are here with Shayna. We have been speaking about feeling trapped, people who feel themselves trapped in various problem situations, and even if they manage to overcome one, there comes another one or two to put them down, and Shayna is a perfect example of that. Good evening, Shayna.
Good evening, Pastor.
How are you this evening?
I'm fine, thank you.
So you are going to share your story this evening with people, and I'm sure that many people can relate to what you are going to speak to, because there are people that go through this and for them it's like a part of life. So you suffered. How was your life before? What used to go through your mind? What was the problem that you used to have?
Growing up, I had a lot of insecurities, and I felt depressed as well. I also couldn't sleep well at night as well. So these were part of the main things that I went through. So
what were some of the insecurities that you had?
I didn't think that I was good enough for anything, because I was told that as well when I was younger, that, you're not good enough or you will not amount to anything. So these things stayed with me as I grew older. And it increased more as well.
So was it that you were, how can I say, were you compared with other siblings, or you were just told that you are not good enough? What used to happen? I
wasn't compared with other siblings. I think because my family kind of told me sometimes when I would misbehave, they'd be like, oh, you will not grow up to be anything, or you're not worth anything. So these things stayed with me. And I think also because I was the only one in my mom's kids who didn't know my dad, so that kind of made me feel insecure as well. So yeah. So
it was a series of problems from your growing up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the sleepless nights and the things, how did it happen? What you used to experience?
The sleepless nights came because I suffered from spiritual attacks from a really, really young age. And because of that, I was afraid to sleep. So I would stay up until like 5 in the morning and then only go to bed because I knew someone would be up in the house, and that's the only time I felt safe to sleep. So I grew up that way as well. So I wouldn't sleep at night. I would force myself to stay awake in order for me to not be afraid.
So you were afraid of what? What used to happen to you in the nights?
I would sleep and I'd feel like someone was on top of me, like I was being choked. I think one of the worst ones, two experiences. The first one I ever experienced was when I was sleeping. My mom switched off the light, and I felt like there were worms on the bed, like just covered in worms. And I remember screaming, and my mom thought that I was paranoid. And I think I was around 6, and that was the first time that I experienced a spiritual attack. And as the years went by, every time I slept, I felt like someone was tickling me, but I couldn't move, I couldn't scream, I couldn't say anything. So these things made me scared. So I would wake up with scratches as well all over my body, and there wouldn't be an explanation for it. So that made me afraid. So I wouldn't be able to close my eyes.
So this started from 6.
Yeah.
And you spoke to your mom, and the reaction, how did she react? What did she...
I only spoke to my mom about the first one because she was on the bed with me and she heard me screaming, and I was like, oh, there are worms on the bed, and she would switch on the light, but when the light was switched on, there was nothing there. But then when she switched it off, I would see it again. So she was just like, Shayna, you know what, just close your eyes and go to bed. You're just probably paranoid. Yeah.
So that was the reaction.
Yeah.
And you see, maybe, like I said, sometimes you don't speak to people about what is going on in your life. Because if you speak to them, it's going to seem like you are crazy. So Shayna experienced, her mom was there with her. She heard her screaming, and that was her reaction. So from that, who she's going to speak to, how she's going to explain what is going on. So from there, it just became worse, right?
Yeah, it got worse.
And for example, the scratches on your body. Did your mom see? Did you speak to anyone?
Yeah, my mom would see. Like, I'm not from the UK, so I'm from St. Lucia, and we knew about these things. So when she would see, she'd be like, oh, they would joke about it, oh, they got you good last night, that kind of thing, like whatever it was. And she would just be like, and they would tell me how to sleep, like sleep with my shirt inside out to stop it from happening, but nothing, all the advice that they give, it wouldn't work, so it would still happen.
So they would even make fun of it?
Yeah, because it's kind of like a joke.
My dear friend, must be terrible. A child growing up, experiencing this thing, and of course, because they didn't know, of course, how to help you, what to say. They would give you their advice, they would give you what they know, but it wouldn't help. So, when people don't know, there's a saying that says, ignorant. When a person is ignorant of something, then they can treat it anyway. They can do certain things and even make jokes. Sometimes people make fun. Sometimes people feel like they are being bullied. But it's not really that the person is being bullied. It's that the person don't know how to deal with, how to help, how to advise, how to deal with that situation. So they deal with it in the way that they know. And that is exactly what you experience. Yeah. So you grew up like this until you were a teenager. It continued, right?
Yeah. I think in my teenage years, it got a bit worse. I think the worst experience that I had was I was sleeping and I couldn't wake up, but I could see myself on the floor. So it was kind of like, I was asleep, but I could still see me. Like I was searching for something and just someone was choking me and I couldn't do anything. And I remember from then on, I just wouldn't sleep at all because I was just too scared. And it would happen several times in the day. So it wouldn't just happen once. It would happen like continuously.
So did this affect your school because you would sleep late? Did you go to school? How did it affect you?
It didn't really affect my school because I got so used to it. So it didn't have an impact on me. But I think it kind of affected my appetite, like eating. I wouldn't eat as much and I would just start losing weight, but it's because I wasn't sleeping. So I wouldn't feel the need to eat anything, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, so how did you really, I want you to think about, because you're going to be sharing with these people how your life changed, because I believe that today you don't have these things anymore. Your life is completely different. But you're going to share with them how you found faith, how your life changed. But I want you to think about one of the worst. You mentioned some terrible situations, but I want to think about one of the worst situations of your life, and you are going to be sharing how it affected you, what have you done, and how you managed to turn things around, because I'm sure that this person that is listening, that is watching us now, must be wondering, how can a person live with this kind of situation? How can a person work with a situation? How can a person grow up like this? What kind of future this person is going to have? If you have never had this situation, it might seem strange. It might even seem like a fairy tale to you. But for those who have faced it, they know. And if you are the person that is facing that, so we are going to share with you how you can overcome, how you can turn your life around, how your story can be transformed. We are going to go to a break and we're going to come back with more Finding Answers. Shayna is going to share her experience, and I'm sure that it's going to help you a lot. So welcome back to Finding Answers. We're speaking about something that is very sensitive and very important, very personal to some people. We're speaking about people who feel themselves trapped. Sometimes this trap seems invisible. Sometimes this trap is not something that you can really explain to people. Sometimes it doesn't appear like you are, but deep inside you know that there's something that is holding you back. And we have been speaking to Shayna about her experience, and she's going to continue to share with us about this experience that she has had, the mechanisms that she used to try to overcome, how she tried to deal with it, how she tried to ignore it, how she tried to move on. And she's going to share with you how she really managed to turn things around. We're going to go to a testimony. We're going to listen to testimonies of people that managed to overcome their traps, and I'm sure it will help you. And my dear friend, listen. Shayna didn't see the need in her culture, in the way that she grew up. She didn't see the need to go to the doctors. But we advise you to speak to someone, speak to professional people that are there available to help you. Speak to someone that is qualified to help you. But should in case you realize that this is not sufficient, this is not helping, this is not solving the problem, so why not combine, why not join the treatment of faith, the solution that faith offers, together with whatever advice and solution that the professionals give? Because we know that faith can and it will make a difference. That's why on Finding Answers, we always bring to you people testimonies that overcome by faith, because we know that faith is possible to overcome every and any situation. So we're going to share with you more testimonies of people that overcome. And when we come back, Shayna is going to be sharing with you her experience of how she tried to deal with the situation, her expectation of moving from one country to the next, and how it worked out and how she managed to really find the true solution to the problem. So stay with us. This is Finding Answers. We're going to be back with you.
I was introduced to drugs, selling drugs, taking drugs at a young age of around 15, 16. So I started selling cocaine, heroin, crack. But even so, it gave me an addiction to having sex with girls, just using them. I was involved in many stabbings, many fights. I was arrested many times, put in a cell, spent many nights, hours there, but I never changed. This life that I was involved in was a life that I knew if I didn't change, I would die. An incident which happened was I was shot and I died there twice, and I thought that it was impossible for me to change. When I heard about God has love for me, He cares for me, He wants to change my life and everything, I decided to accept His word, and I realized that nothing was impossible for this God that I'm serving today. So that life that I had, that I was dreaming of, that I could be someone better, I could be, happy, not having to look over my back, not having to feel that pain of a knife going through me or a bullet. Today, I'm happy, I'm studying, I'm successful in my coursework and everything. I'm working, my family is coming together. Everything is going well for me. And I've overcome the gangs, I've overcome the sex, the drugs, the illegal weapons, and I'm like an example for many other young guys, those that were involved in that and they think that they can't break free. I'm that example to show that, look, it's possible.
My life before, I had a lot of debts, and I would always borrow to pay one debt, but then I didn't have the means to pay back the debt that I'd borrowed from. So each time it just accumulated, and then the interest was just added on, and then it just spiraled out of hand. The worst point for me when I actually hit rock bottom was in 2012, to be honest, because I felt there was no exit now, because I had actually absorbed everything that I could possibly think of in how I can clear my debts. I just didn't see any way through that I could actually get out of this situation. The change came about when I received some advice from an advisor, a financial advisor, who actually broke it down to me how I could resolve my financial debts. And I was almost £25,000 in debt. And he said, you know, if I continued, by 2018, I would be debt-free. But then I also was receiving some spiritual advice where, in receiving this weekly, and I was also asking God for his direction, I found that, you know, in the spiritual advice that I was actually receiving, you know, and the faith of, you know, taking everything on board, you know, he showed me that you could clear your debt before 2018. If you really wanted to clear your debt, you can clear your debt. And I was so focused on the spiritual advice that I was receiving and really taking the measures that June 2016, I was debt-free. And today, I no longer have any debts. I'm happy. My bank account now is healthy. I can actually, you know, if I want to spend money, I can go out there and I can buy whatever I really need. Whereas before, it wasn't the case. Today, I can honestly say now, all my debts were cleared. I didn't have to pay any interest whatsoever. All the interest, everything has been written off. And all I did was just paid back the money that I actually borrowed. And today, I am debt-free. I can see where my money is going now today. My bank account is healthy. It's very healthy. And I'm just so happy.
So welcome back to Finding Answers. We have been speaking to Shayna, and she has been sharing her experience of how she managed to overcome sleepless night, feeling depressed all the time, and a lot of things that seem strange to some people. And here tonight we have also with us Pastor David, who is joining us now. Good evening, Pastor David.
Good evening, Pastor Emma. It's a pleasure.
For sure. We have been speaking to Shayna, Pastor David, and I've been saying to people, sometimes there are people that go through situations like what she has been through, that they don't know who to speak to. Because when a person go to their bed and things happen to them in the night, that, you know, when they wake up in the morning, they feel like she used to have marks on her body, things used to happen to her. How can the person explain this to someone?
Yeah, it's strange and awkward, because we are not born to suffer in this situation. You never expect that these things will affect you, right? For example, as you are growing up, you're not expecting these things to happen to you.
No.
So it just came out of a sudden. How did it start? It came out of nowhere?
Yeah, it started when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't really an explanation for it. It was just something that started to happen, really.
It just came out of nowhere. Yeah. As you can see, Pastor Rema, that's the problem with sometimes with many people. They have an unexpected problem, an unexpected situation, like dealing with depression, dealing with this situation that you were seeing things, and they don't know what to do, right?
That's why we're speaking about the trap, because a trap is not something that you normally see. Mm-hmm. If you see a trap, you're not going to go in it. If you know that something is going to harm to you, you're not really go down that route. But normally things harm to people, and then they become in that situation that they don't know how to come out of it. And sometimes they try to cope. For example, Shayna, how did you try to deal with this situation? What were your mechanisms? What did you try to use, to at least to try to get accustomed to it? How did you deal with it?
I started listening to music. So for me, because I couldn't sleep, I needed music. I needed music to help me to drown out the silence, because I hated when it was really quiet. So I would listen to music, and along the way I became addicted to it. So I couldn't do anything without music. I wouldn't be able to go to bed without first listening to something to make me feel comfortable. So yeah, this is how I dealt with it.
So
yeah, it's strange, right? Normally people, they like silence.
Want silence, right?
To see.
I
especially if I talk about myself, I want to have completely silence. In her case, it was different. What was the silence bothering you in a way, or it was causing you to feel so empty and alone inside?
I think it's because I know if it's quiet, I would hear the noises. So in order for me not to hear it, I would rather listen to the music so that I would not know what's happening. I'd rather not know what's happening than to hear.
So you were avoiding the situation that was in your life. You're trying to patch up a problem, creating another problem, because you know we shouldn't sleep with music loud in our ears. Correct? It's not healthy.
It's like people, they, how can I say, they try to get a mechanism, that kind of defense that doesn't solve the problem, but it's like people normally say, putting a band-aid over cancer.
It doesn't work.
There's no real solution. And maybe you yourself, my dear friend, you are watching us now and this is what you are doing. This is exactly what you have been doing for so long. But my friend, Finding Answers is here to help you. Because Shana, you even told me that you were not born here, right? In the UK.
No.
So you came to the UK at what age?
At 18. I came here when I was 18.
So at 18, so this starts from a young age, continue until 18. So when you were coming to the UK, or when you planned to come to, what was the expectation?
I thought it would be better because on movies you see that it's so lovely over here. But when I came here, it got worse because I didn't know anyone. I only had my family, and I left all my friends. I left my mom, everyone back home. So when I came here, I started feeling even more depressed than I was when I was back home. So this is when the addiction to music came as well, because I used to sit down in my closet. I would close the door and just sit in there because I just wanted to feel sad. It was just a lot.
Inside of the closet?
Yeah, inside of it. I would sit down inside of it. I would take my duvet inside of there as well to try to sleep inside of there because I love the darkness. I loved when it was dark. I needed to be in the darkness. Yeah.
And your reaction with people, how did you react with people? How was your day-to-day interaction with people?
I barely left the house. When I came here, I barely left home. I would stay home every single day. So I wouldn't interact with people, not even with my family. Sometimes they would not even know that I'm in the house. They would ask if I'm at home because I wouldn't leave my room at all unless it's necessary.
And when you did have to deal with them, was it good? Was it wonderful? Was it pleasant? Or was there a problem?
It would be minimal conversation. So I wouldn't speak to them as much. I would greet them, say what I need to do, but there was no conversation. I would just do what I have to do and go back. So there was nothing really, no communication between us.
So you are a very closed person, but within yourself.
Yeah.
Was there a specific reason why you were so close within yourself? Because you just mentioned that you wanted to be sad, and when you're closed in the closet, was there a specific reason for that?
I think it stemmed from when I was back home. I used to get bullied as well, so I didn't trust anyone. I didn't feel the need to be friends with anybody. I grew up not loving company, not loving people. I loved my own company. I felt safer when I was by myself. So when I was on my own, that's when I felt more confident because I know that no one would be able to make fun of me or no one would call me names. So when I was by myself, I knew that there was no problems. I hated arguments. I hated confrontation. So being on my own meant that I wouldn't have to deal with these things. So this is why I started being by myself.
You closed yourself up because you say, this is my world.
Yeah.
And in my world, no one comes in. That's how you were feeling, right?
Yeah.
And what did this cause, you know, because did you had social media? Did you talk to people online as well, or you just completely shut yourself up?
I had social media, but I just posted the pictures because I was so insecure. I'd post pictures just for the likes, so for people to write comments, but I wouldn't speak to anyone, not even on social media. I didn't have the confidence to do any of it. I genuinely loved being by myself because this is when I felt like this is it. Like I love my own company. I didn't like being around people.
But you never put pictures of you crying.
No.
You never put pictures of you depressed, lonely.
Oh no, I'd put on pictures that I was happy. Like people would be like, "Oh, I'm happy for you." People
Especially
thought that,
you're in the UK.
Yeah. People, because I used to go to church back home as well. People thought that I was a Christian, so they'd be like, "Oh, I wish I had your faith." But in my head, I was thinking, if only you knew what was going on. These pictures lie. This is not who I am, to be honest.
You know, Pastor David, I've been doing a research and there's things that are proven to make people unhappy, scientifically proven. And one of the things that's on the top of the list is Facebook.
Wow.
It's proven because not that Facebook itself makes people unhappy, but when a person lives by Facebook, going to get likes, putting things, checking every minute. So when they see other people like Shana posting pictures, looking nice, they feel themselves like, you know, they're less. And some people, if nobody reacts, if nobody like what they post, then the situation become worse.
Imagine, I don't know if you can imagine with me, you for watching this program, you will understand what I'm trying to say now. Imagine, you are putting pictures of all smiley, everything is fine, but you are feeling down within yourself. Yeah. The one who's watching the picture, maybe you watch everybody smiling and happy. The person is watching saying, wow, she's so happy, I'm so depressed. Look how the chain reaction goes.
So that person's depression becomes worse.
Yes.
And hers also doesn't go away.
Yes, and it didn't go away.
No.
But, you know, now you are here in front of the TV, you are talking to thousands and thousands of people who will be watching us. There's already a victory, right? Because you're too shy before, correct? Closed. And what was the lowest point in your life that you really, you know, it was hard for you?
So the lowest point in my life was when the thoughts of suicide was really, it was getting too much. So I remember I had to get music to put on to try and drown out the sound of it. I had to get myself really busy because I knew that if I didn't do something, I would probably end up going through with it. So I think this was the lowest point. And also when I found myself like being so comfortable in darkness, like when I couldn't leave the house anymore, when I didn't feel the need to leave home, I think this is when I was like, yeah, something is wrong. I need help.
That's when you realize that really you needed help.
Yeah.
You see, Pastor Raymar, it's very important. Maybe you are watching us right now in this program, and you are going through a similar situation as her. You know, you close yourself, you like to live in the dark, you have suicidal thoughts, and I would like to tell you that you must seek professional help. You know, we believe that faith, it's possible and you can achieve great things through the power of faith, but there is professional help that you should look for. Did you try to look for professional help that time, or you closed yourself even more with this situation?
I didn't try to look for it. I would search online. Instead of going to someone, I'll search online, like, what are the symptoms of this, of feeling depressed? What can I do from home? But I would never think of going to the doctor. I think I did think of going to the doctors, but I never went. Because I just wanted the pill, because there's this pill that you said you could use to make you feel happy. And that was the only reason why I wanted to go, but I never really went to anyone. No.
Do you see, Pastor Raymond?
That's the life of many people, because the person don't know how to start solving the problem. So instead of, you see, the person had to think even about a pill. So anything that a person presents would seem like a magic. The person wants something like magic, you know? Just one pill that is going to make me happy again.
Yeah, happiness doesn't come with a pill, right? We know that very well. But you should seek for professional help. You should try, because what we want to show you through the testimony is that you were able to turn the situation around through the power of faith in God.
Yeah.
So that was the lowest point. You know, even though you socialized in social media, pretending to be happy, but you were not happy. You know, you were closed up, you're thinking of commit suicide, you had, you know, starting to feel depressed and all these things. So when did the power of faith come in your story?
I was invited to this youth group, and I came and I heard words of faith that helped me. I saw people who went through similar situations that I went to, and I think everything started to change when I decided to open up, when I decided to speak about what was happening with the advisors that were at the youth group. And everything that they told me, I took it step by step, and today, yeah.
So Shana, when you decide to open up, how did they laugh? Like you said, your parents, how was the reaction?
They did not laugh. They were actually very helpful, which was surprising, because for me to open up, it was a lot, because I don't like telling people anything. But I realized that it was better for me to open up than to keep it in, because if I kept it in, I wouldn't get the help that I needed. And they were very kind with the advice that they gave. Yes.
So you put it into practice, and today, who is Shana? How are you today, Shana?
I am completely different. Yeah, I'm not sad or depressed anymore. I think I was someone that didn't like to speak. I think now I speak too much. So I'd say bubbly. Like, I'm not closed up. I trust people more. I have more faith in things. Like, before I didn't like waking up in the morning. I would pray for God to kill me in my sleep. But now it's like every day is a new day. Every day I'm happy to be alive. Yeah.
So Shana, there are people that are watching you right now, and I'm sure that there's at least one person that might be facing this situation, maybe watching this program in the night and might be thinking, of going to sleep, the terror, the fear, the torment, the attacks, the things that happen to them that maybe like you, they are fear to wake. What would you advise this person?
I would say to find help. Don't keep it in, because I think the longer that you keep something inside, the more hidden it becomes and the greater the problem becomes. So I think something someone always tells me is that a problem shared is a problem halved. So if you share your problem with someone, you're more likely to get the help. If you keep it in, nothing is going to happen. You're not going to come out of the situation, and it wouldn't help you at all. Instead of getting better, it would get worse. So I would say speak up, find someone, and just open up. Don't care.
And you don't like the dark anymore?
Oh no.
Huh?
I love light.
Do you close yourself in the closet again, or?
No, I don't think I could fit in it.
So today you're a different person?
Yeah, completely.
You see, whoa. This is great, Pastor Rema, but I want to emphasize that it's important that people may seek help, like she said.
For sure.
The longer she took, the worse the problem became. Yeah. Now you open up, you went to the place of worship, and there you found strength to overcome your problem.
Yeah.
Are you a different woman today?
Completely.
You
completely
see,
different.
This person can look for our help, right? And
for
see
sure.
that God is able to change our life.
So my dear friend, that is our aim on Finding Answers, to bring to you the brighter side. We are here to help you, and the testimonies speak by themselves. You can see the expression on Shayna's face, you can hear her voice, and the fact that she's here today to share her story with you is already a witness. So you can get help as well. It doesn't matter what you have been through, doesn't matter what people have thought about you or what you have thought about yourself. You should seek help. If you want to email us, you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv, and we're going to respond to your email. Maybe you'd like to email me, Pastor Raymar, Pastor David. You can email us and we are going to reply to you. We're going to advise you. We're going to help you. And for sure, your story, your life will never be the same again. All right? When we come back, we're going to be doing also a prayer for you at the end of this. So please, if you'd like to call, email, you can give us your name. We are going to be praying for you at the foot of the cross, because by the power of faith, you can receive the help that you need. So my dear friend, we have been speaking tonight about being trapped, people who feel like they are trapped. And we have seen the story of Shayna and other testimonies of people that managed to overcome. And we are going to be making a prayer for you, you that you recognize, you that you feel like you are trapped and you would like to come out of this situation. We believe that through faith, you can overcome. There's nothing that is impossible through the power of faith. Pastor David, the testimony of Shayna really opened the eyes of many people, because a lot of people suffer under the quiet.
Yeah, it's true, and we can see and relate with it, because she used to close herself in a house, even in a wardrobe. She didn't want to hear anything. She wanted to hear just the music, to not hear the sounds, the voices, things, and the suicidal thoughts came to her, and all those things were there just as a trap. A trap for what? Later on, people commit suicide. Later on, people, they are not happy in their marriage. They start closing up themselves instead of being outspoken. You know, that bubbly personality they should have, they have the opposite of it.
Sometimes it leads to addiction. Some
Yes.
people, they get introduced to drugs, they get introduced to bad company. Sometimes there are people that, you know, that person is so quiet, and then when the person does something, everybody become amazed.
Yeah.
So it's that person that shocks, you know, that person that shocked the family. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't expect that person to turn out to be like that, because normally when the person stay in that situation for so long, sometimes they want to come out and they don't know how. Nobody shows them how. Nobody offer them any alternative. So whatever idea comes, or whoever bring an idea to them, then the person normally grab it, and normally it shocks people.
You know, it's like a time bomb, you know. There's a timer. It seems sometimes there's a timer in that person. Maybe you're watching this program right now and you are going through that situation, but you don't want to explode. You want to be happy. You know, deep down inside of you, you want to be happy. You don't want to carry with you this burden of your suffering. And you don't need to carry. Please, if anyone told you that you have to suffer, or that's your karma, or that's your destiny, please avoid these kind of commentaries. These are very negative commentaries that are not helping you. You don't need to carry everything by yourself. You need help. Seek for help, professional help. Seek an advice, seek for prayer. You know, we are going to do a prayer now in your behalf, and I believe that God is able to help you. Because sometimes, Pastor Rema, many people look, help in many places, but sometimes they forget, that there is God that can help them.
Exactly, Pastor. Because today it seems, the idea, what many people don't understand, just as though the problems that you have, sometimes when you speak to some people, it seems foolish. That is also, the solution also seems. The idea of God, of praying, seems foolish, seems, something like out of the way, like out of mind. But the problem also that the person have to many people seem out of mind. Yeah. Society treats this kind of problem, even though there's a lot of movies, there's a lot of, entertainment, movies that deal with this kind of thing, horror movies. When you go in the section of movies on the site that show horror movie, you find a lot. And they put a lot there, sometimes like entertainment. But for sure, these movies don't come out of nowhere. They come out of the mind of people. It's what people experience and they express through the movie. But to solve the problem, normally people kind of have that withdrawal because the movie don't show the solution to the problem. But always is there. It doesn't show. When you watch those movies, the person don't get solution. Normally it's that mysterious ending, is that kind of way that things just end. People just learn how to live with it, just disappear, fade out, something like that.
It's like a trap, like the testimony. She used to hear music loud all the time because she was avoiding a problem. She had a problem, she was creating another one by avoiding it. So avoiding a problem, not coming to God, means that you're not looking for a way out because you have tried everything. Why not God? Is it foolish? Is it crazy? Is it something that, is so religious that's from ancient times, is not modern? And that's the problem with many people today, because God offers you a way out, and sometimes people reject this offer. They reject God and then ask why God is not hearing me, because maybe we have rejected, right?
Exactly. And what we're presenting to, my dear friend, is faith. It's not religion. It's not something that is abstract. Faith that is real, that is practical. If you join us now in this prayer, let's say you are there now, you don't know anything about faith, you have never been a religious person, but you are watching us now and you have a problem like this. And you are going to join us now in this prayer. So you are doing something that is practical. It's a decision that you have to take. Okay, maybe you don't even know. You have never experienced that before. You just hear the testimonies that we show here. But why not give a try? It's an intelligent decision. What do you have to lose? What are you going to lose? You know the suffering already. You know the pain. Maybe you have tried many places, many things. What do you have to lose? We are going to be praying for you, my friend. And I'm sure that God is going to be able to help those who believe. If you join us now in faith, you're going to receive the help that you need.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer right now in behalf of so many people who are at home now participating and taking part of this prayer with us. And they have carried, my God, upon their shoulders a heavy burden, a suffering, a pain, a depression, a loneliness, frustration, anxiety, maybe, my God, even an addiction, a family problem that is tearing their heart apart. And I know, Lord, that this person is looking for an answer. These people, my God, who take part of this prayer with us, they are looking for a way out. But they have been bombarded, my God, with so many negative things, negative thoughts. And many don't have the strength to come out. So I pray, God, for those who have no strength. I pray for those who feel weak. those who feel rejected, those who feel, my God, that society, family, friends have rejected them. They feel so lonely in this world that they don't have the strength, my God, to come out of this loop they are in. But I pray that in Jesus' name, as we hold, my God, as we stand here at the foot of this cross, I ask you, may your Spirit visit this person today. Wherever she is, let her receive the strength. Let her receive, my God, your power. Let her receive inside happiness, joy, peace. Let her have peace inside of her. Let her feel now in this moment, peace coming inside her heart, so that she may be able, so that he may be able, that they may change their life. Lord, I pray in Jesus' name, let this life be touched with your power. And wherever you are, I pray for you and I say, receive hope. Receive hope inside of you. If hope was taken, if hope was stolen from you, in Jesus' name, receive today hope in your heart so that you may overcome, so that you may lift up your head and tell yourself, I can make it. Lord, this is my prayer. And I believe, Father, that you are going to touch this life. So in Jesus' name, whoever you are and wherever you are, receive peace and joy in your heart today. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. So my dear friend, I'm sure that you have been blessed through this moment of prayer. And all you have to do now is receive your blessing. Receive your happiness. Receive strength to overcome. To come out of this trap so that you can be the blessing that you want to be, so that you can have the life that you want to have. And don't forget, we are available to help you. Get in touch with us. Send us an email, help@findinganswers. Contact us because we are going to be continuing our prayer on your behalf. And we're going to be showing you more testimonies the next time we're here on Finding Answers. Have a blessed evening. God bless you. See you.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.